Alrighty, guys, welcome back. It's that best time of the month again. Yes, sirree. It's that time where we talk about everything we did in the last month and get to analyze and talk about a lot of great games and a lot of activities we did and a lot of great things. So we're going to get into it and have a great time. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. If you do enjoy this and you want to see more, make sure you leave a comment down below, leave a post, leave a like, do all that fun stuff. So, actually, it's May 31st right now, so I could technically play another game, but I probably won't. May has been a very interesting month for us. We got a lot of really good things to talk about. Number one, we have a brand new channel logo. That's right, we got a brand new channel logo, which we just finished yesterday, kind of updating things. Let me know in the comments section down below what you guys think of our channel logo. It's been updated now. Oops, that's not the logo. This is the logo. There we go. So you're going to start to see this image a lot more. We have got the ID Jester on there, and yeah, so you're going to probably see this a lot more going forward. That's going to be our channel logo for all the videos we do and everything, so hopefully you guys enjoy it. I think it looks pretty good. Again, the main image, it was done by somebody else, and I borrowed the image and then just kind of altered it a little bit and added my name to it because I really like it. I'm known as the Big Mouth guy, so I think that fits pretty well with my persona, I guess. Persona online is, he's the big yelly, screamy guy on the internet. So, yeah, this guy looks like something, if I was going to do a logo, I'd do something like that anyways. So I added our name on the top, and I think it turned out really, really good. So let me know in the comments section down below if you like our new logo, if there was anything, you think I should change or think about. Anyways, going forward, you're going to be seeing that a lot more. Number two, we're going to talk about. We did a lot in May, and May started. I was actually gone for a week. If you all remember from our April review show, the end of April and the beginning of May was Buckeyegamefest. So I was gone for, I think it was 8, 9, 10 days, somewhere in there. So, but while I was gone, I was playing a ton of games. You're going to see on our list here. So we got to play a lot of games at Buckeyegamefest. So this has been a great month. Let's go ahead and just start analyzing what we did. There we go. And we'll slide that over just a little bit. So you can see these are just the games from May 2024. A bunch of these was just from the Friday and Saturday from Buckeyegamefest. We ended up playing role-playing adventures 4 times with Craig, my buddy, up north. We played Plum Island Horror with the designer, Herman Lutman, and the player's aide, Grant and Alexander, and myself. The 4 of us played Plum Island Horror. It was a great time. Salton Sea, which I really had a good time with up at Buckeyegamefest, so I ended up picking up this game myself, so I'll have it to play it. Salton Sea is a very interesting game. It comes in English, Espanol, Italian, Portuguese, and some other language. And there's literally every one of these languages has its own rule book. In the half of this box is just rule books, and I think some the player aids and stuff like that are all the different languages, which is kind of not great because it's a lot of production going into a lot of extra things. So you got all these player aids, and there's some in English, which I'll keep, but the rest of these, unless you speak Italian, Portuguese, whatever, What's the best way to sell board games? List them on Board Game Geek. Create you an account and list them on Board Game Geek, and you will be able to sell plenty of games. If you're looking for something to sell. All right, so I ended up picking up Salton Sea there at Buckeyegamefest. Then we played Touring Machine. I've played it several times on the channel on Board Game Arena, but this was face to face with the actual cards and components because I wanted to see how well it played with the pieces in the box to see if I want to pick it up. So I have it in case somebody wants to play a game or something. So that was cool. Then we played Raising Robots a couple times. Raising Robots, which is a cool, it's an engine building game, sort of like Wingspan, where you're putting robots down, activating their powers, doing all kinds of special things. So that's kind of cool. Then we played Now Boarding, which is an older game about managing cooperative, where you're managing your airplanes and moving passengers and picking up passengers. That was kind of cool. The Reckoners. The Reckoners, which for some reason I don't even remember what that is. Let me look at it. Let me look at the box. Oh, I know what this is. This is this huge. Right, the I gotta learn how to spell. RECKONERS. It's a huge box edition based upon what's his face? Brandon Sanderson. That's who I couldn't think of his name. It's a big box game. It's like a boss battler game. You're going up against the characters from the Reckoners. If you watched the show or read the books, I'm assuming they're books because they're by Brandon Sanderson. Big box game. It was okay. I just thought it was way overproduced for what it could have been, in my opinion. You know. And then we played Fortune and Glory, the cliffhanger game, again with Herman and one of Herman's buddies at Buckeyegamefest. That was it. That was our last night there. Then we shipped on home and came home, and then we picked up things here on the channel. So a lot of these games, the first 8 of those, as you can see on the list, obviously weren't on the channel because they were played face-to-face at Buckeyegamefest. So if you're looking for any of those videos, you're not going to find them on the channel. So don't look. I'm just trying to let you know that. Then we got back. While we were coming back, we played Wingspan a couple of times. Then when we got back, we decided to play the Castles of Burgundy solo. Awesome little solo game. I have the older 2019 edition, not the brand new edition that just came out. So then we played Payoff Pitch Baseball, Pay Dirt, or Sports Illustrated Football. We actually played the game that I officially played was neither one of those, but it's the only game is what that is now is called Data Driven Football. It's a derivative of Pay Dirt, Sports Illustrated. It's like one guy that's trying to keep it alive and keep the game going and creating new seasons and files, and you can still order stuff. Data Driven Football. Highly recommend it. But if you go to Board Game Geek, there is no page for that. So when I try to log a play, I have to put it under Pay Dirt / Sports Illustrated Football because that's the only game in the system for it. Then we played Black Orchestra live here on the channel with Phoenix Knight. That was a good one. It's basically the hunt for Hitler, to kill Hitler. You have to come up with some kind of plan to kill him. And did we end up winning or losing? I can't remember if we won or lost. I'm telling you, it was a good game. Funny enough, we talked about it. I ended up getting online and ordering it, and then me and Phoenix got together and decided we were going to play. And when we were deciding what games to play, he suggested we play this game. I'm like, oh, I just ordered this game. So I'm like, that would be cool because now I'll know how to play it. So that was super cool. That was a good one. I can't remember if we won or lost, but it was a good one. Black Orchestra. Then I played Interceptor A's Daylight Air Defense over Germany 1943 to 1944. That is a long ass name. This is one of these role-playing games from Compass Games, Solitaire. I just didn't like it as much as, I don't know. I love the theme, and I just don't think it was done right. There just didn't seem like there was enough decisions to be made. Then Black Orchestra came in, and one of the games I ordered with Black Orchestra was Thunderstone Advance because I love Thunderstone, and it was super cheap. I got like Thunderstone Advance plus one of the expansions for, I think it was like $18 or something. So when I ordered Black Orchestra, I ordered that and a couple other games as well. So that was a good one. Thunderstone Advanced. It was good to play some Thunderstone Advance. The problem with that game, there's a problem with that game, and I think you just need to house rule a couple things and change the core mechanic, and I think it would be a really good game. I still think it's a good game. It's just, it's kind of showing its age in development and everything. It just seems like an older game with mechanics that just don't gel with today's gaming, shall I say? The one main issue is when you're killing an enemy. When you kill an enemy, you take the enemies and you add their card to your deck because the enemy will give you a bonus. And so what ends up happening as you play through the game is your deck gets jammed up with all of these monster cards. And so, in essence, it technically weakens you because you're killing monsters. So, which is not the way great game design should be anyways. Anyways, Thunderstone Advance. Still a great game. I think it was in my top 100 of all time. Then I played Appa Golf online. Actually, I didn't play it on the channel here. I went and played it with the Game Caddy guy. We did a couple live streams. Actually, 2 live streams in May. 2 live streams of me and him playing Appa Golf, using the Game Caddy, doing things online. But they're not on my channel. They're on the Game Caddy channel. So go check those out if you want to see some Appa Golf with the Game Caddy. Then I played Status Pro Baseball, one of the forgotten stepchilds of baseball sims. Nobody plays it for some reason. Then I played Gaia Project because I'm on this kick to learn the intricate information about how to play Gaia Project. For some reason, I watched a video and I was like, I don't know why I lost really bad at Gaia Project when I played Phoenix Knight. It's one of these things like you need to figure out with this game. Like you can do like one thing. Like if I do this, like I could upgrade this building to my academy, right? I could spend all my resources and I upgrade this building to my academy. Boom, and that's going to spend all my resources. Or you can spend one resource to do this, and one resource to do this, and one resource to do this, a couple of resources to do this. You can build a little mine on this planet. You can build a little mine on this planet. You can do all these other little things. And the trick with Gaia Project and Terraforming Mars and everything, what I found out is you got to decide. Is it better to go down path A or go down path B? Like maybe it's a better situation for you just to upgrade to Planetary Institute, I think is what they call it. It might be a better idea to upgrade to a Planetary Institute because maybe this is the round that they're going to score Planetary Institutes. And so doing that is going to give you 5 victory points at the end of the game. Whatever the reason may be. Or is it going to be better for you to do all these other little things that kind of morph into other things? If I do these 3 things, then I'm going to get this, which will allow me to go up the science track, which will give me a resource so I can build a mine on this planet, which will give me a QIC so I can play it on a Gaia planet, and I can then, so you got to figure out all these. It's all about maximizing your opportunities with your actions, because you only get so many actions. I think there's 5 or 6 rounds in the game total. And then it's over. So you got to maximize what you do during your turn to getting the best amount you can get. So anyways, I played Gaia Project. I think I actually played it twice. It's a really good game, and I think this is one of these ones that I'm going to start going back to some of these games that I haven't played much, and try to delve into a little bit more and try to understand them a little bit more. You're going to see a lot of those on the list this month and the next few months. Next up, Dead Panic. This is another one I picked up when I picked up Thunderstone Advance, Black Orchestra. Dead Panic was another one. We played Castle Panic. I really like Castle Panic. It's one of these tower defense games. You basically have 6 different quadrants. The enemies you're drawing out of a bag, so you're never sure what you're going to get. Each of the enemies have different special abilities. Dead Panic is basically the same thing, but with zombies. There's like 3 or 4 different kinds of zombies. You can have brutes that can bust through your gates. You can have shamblers, which walk really slow. And the object is for you to keep drawing zombies out of the bag until you draw survivors out of the bag. Keep the survivors alive long enough where they can get inside the central building. They'll drop a radio piece. You pick up the radio piece. You put the radio pieces together, and then you spend an action to call, and a rescue van will randomly arrive in one of the 6 locations. Then it's your job to run and get out before the zombies kill you. Technically, I don't know if you're playing solo, if you're playing solo, you're just trying to do the best you can and get all the survivors out. We ended up getting 3 of the 4 survivors. One of our survivor died. Now, does that mean we lose or not? No, we were playing solo, so we decide as ourselves whether or not we win or lose. I thought getting 3 of 4 survivors out was good enough, so I gave us a win. Yay. Then we played Last Bastion, another brand new game on the channel. It's basically ghost stories with a fantasy theme put on it. So if you like ghost stories and you like that mechanism, 3x3 grid, 4 different characters moving around, activating locations, fighting ghosts, same thing, but with a fantasy theme, and this time instead of ghosts, yeah, you got it, you're drawing random demons and orcs, and I'm trying to think of what else is there. Skeletons, vampires, all the creatures from fantasy, right? So that's what it is. Basically the same thing. Very similar. 4 different factions, each with their own special abilities. A lot of the special abilities are the same as in Ghost Stories. A lot of the monsters have the same special abilities and same powers. It is slightly different in how you do before it was the ghost movement. In this case, it wasn't ghost movement. It was where the monsters arrive. When the monsters arrive, and then they'll move up. And we were doing pretty good about halfway through the game, and then everything completely fell apart. And within like 2 turns, we were completely wiped out. So that's exactly like Ghost Stories. It plays exactly like Ghost Stories. You just have to go in accepting the fact that you're going to win about 1% of the time. I don't think I've officially ever won Ghost Stories in my entire lifetime. I probably played it maybe, I would say, between 35 and 40 times in my lifetime, and I can honestly say that I don't ever recall winning once. It's one of those games where everything is going along great until you miss one attack or you miss one roll that you need, like there's a monster out there and I'm gonna spend my action to kill this monster, and you don't kill him, it puts you behind the eight ball, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, now we have this monster and we got this monster to deal with. So all of a sudden you got two monsters to deal with, and then all of a sudden you can't kill both of those two monsters, so then you got three monsters to deal with, and all of a sudden four or five, and before you know it, you get completely swarmed, and you're like, wait a minute, everything was going along so good. What happened? Christopher, you like the new logo. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it so much. It's good to hear that. Thank you. Good for noticing, too, if you are just joining us. Thank you. All right, so that was the Last Bastion. It's still, here's the interesting part. Ghost Stories with the expansions. White Thunder, and what was the second? I know it's White something. I keep thinking White Thunder, but it might not be White Thunder. There's two expansions for Ghost Stories. And this Ghost Stories and the two expansions are extremely kind of expensive to find and get because it's been out of print for a long, long time. But Last Bastion, I picked it up for like $12. It's basically the same game with a different theme that nobody plays and nobody knows anything about it. Like, if you ask somebody, like just a random gamer, have you ever played Last Bastion? They're going to say, no, I never played it. Well, I don't know what it is. What is it? And then you're going to say, have you ever played Ghost Stories? They're going to say, oh, yeah, I played Ghost Stories. Or I've seen somebody play Ghost Stories or whatever. Because Ghost Stories is a very, very popular game. It's basically Ghost Stories with fantasy. And they'll go, oh, I've never heard of it. I would like to try that game. So my recommendation for you guys is if you enjoy Ghost Stories, pick up Last Bastion if you can find it pretty decently priced. Because, it's basically the same game with just a slight variation of the rules. And it does have kind of an interesting little mechanism as you put the 9x9 grid out when you play Ghost Stories. A lot of the times the grid doesn't line up right and everything. In the fantasy version, Last Bastion, it actually has a little border that you kind of snap together. You build this little border, and then you put your 999 grid inside it, and everything is perfectly lined up, and everything looks great. Works really good. I might use that for my Ghost Stories because it works great. Then we played Fall Classic Baseball. Still, I mean, when I go through these games, like Payoff Pitch Baseball, Fall Classic Baseball, Status Pro Baseball, Stratomatic Baseball, Season Ticket Baseball, Deep Drive Baseball, it's basically playing one or two games from our replays and stuff. So they're always going to show up every month. You're going to see them probably on the list. Based upon how many times I get them out and get the chance to play them. So Fall Classic Baseball, one of my faves. It's an awesome game. Great components, great quality cards. If you haven't played Fall Classic, you should check it out. That's all I'll say about that. Then we finally decided to break down and play Commands and Colors Medieval, which we picked up a couple of months ago when the reprint from GMT arrived. And yes, I do only own one copy of this game. It's Commands and Colors with Medieval. It's basically Command and Colors. Plays just like Command and Colors. There's really no difference to the Medieval than some of the other editions. I guess the differences, would be in the Medieval edition, there is every group of units gets 4 blocks, whether it's cavalry or infantry. So you're fighting over those 4 blocks. There is, the usual command cards. Play the command cards to do this. Get the special ability bonuses and stuff. Scenarios set up with different terrain pieces and doing all that fun stuff. Very familiar. If you play any of the Command and Colors games, you should be able to pick up Medieval very easily. Of course, they got a a few expansions for this one, which I will probably pick up as well. Then we played Apple Golf again. That was probably the second week we played it over with the Game Caddy. Had a great time with that. What I'm going to start doing is listing all the games I play in the order I play them, so that way I can kind of remember in case there is something important that happens. So sometimes you might see something on the list several times. Then we played replay basketball. I watched Tebow playing the old replay basketball and inspired me to get my game out and play it again. So we played a half of basketball. It took like 2 hours and I played a half of basketball, and I was like, now I remember why I don't play the basketball. It's a great game that number one, I don't watch basketball. I don't care about basketball. I don't like basketball. I'll be completely honest. I don't like basketball. I don't watch it. I don't care. I think it's still a great game. I'm glad I own it. I'm glad I play it. It's just I don't have the desire or commitment to go and play through a whole game and play it and learn the system really well. Like, this is one of these games. There's a lot of, you're just rolling and getting the result on the player card. But there's a lot of like, oh, there's like 6RX, and you're like, what is that? And you got to look at the little chart and figure out what the chart. Oh, it means check your opponent, look and see if the blue dice is higher than his roll or lower, So I'm constantly doing this. This is one of these games, when you know the game and you've gone through those result plays a few times, you now look at it and you go, oh, the blue dice isn't high enough, boom, it's done, and you move on. And you don't have to look at the charts and analyze it. So it can play a lot faster. I just don't have the desire or commitment to actually learn the game. Because again, I don't follow basketball. I just don't know. The season I got is from when I watched basketball back in the 80s and 90s. I think the last basketball game I watched was like in 1994, 95. Who knows? It's been 25, 30 years since I couldn't even tell you who's on what team nowadays. But it's still a great game. I would highly recommend, if you have any desire in basketball, to check out the replay basketball game. Then I played Arkham Horror 2nd Edition, which I put part 1 on the channel, and then I said at the end of part 1, I may or may not continue this because I probably played Arkham Horror in my lifetime probably over 100 times. In my lifetime, I probably played it over 100 times. We used to play this all the time at cabs. Whenever we went to Origins and stuff, we would always end the conference playing a big game with all the expansions of Arkham Horror. So I played Arkham Horror a lot. 2nd Edition is what I'm talking about. The 2nd Edition from Richard Launius, the revised 2nd Edition, with all the expansions and this, that, and the other thing. Well, I picked up another Arkham Horror 2nd Edition because it was, again, like dirt cheap, like $12, $15. I could use all the extra pieces and parts for my gaming in case I lose some parts. For $12, I got an extra copy. I can give it away to somebody. It doesn't matter. Anyways, this game that I played was with just the base game, because that's all I bought was just the base game. And it was a random setup with random heroes and random enemy, and I think we were going up against Snarlethotep, I think, maybe. I can't remember who we were going up against, to be honest. And like literally, it was the worst start we ever have had. Now, Arkham Horror is one of these games that you play. It is designed to beat you down. It is designed to have you come against things that just aren't fair, that just aren't right. And it's one of these things like as soon as you come up, you draw a monster that you can't defeat because he's just too tough. Or you draw a gate that you can't close because it's just too tough. Or you get an encounter or a random event or whatever that's just too tough and you can't deal with it. It's just knocks you down a peg, and that's how the game wins. It knocks you down a couple pegs because it just puts out these things that you can't get around, you can't defeat, you can't do anything about. You lose clues, you lose this, you lose that, or whatever, and it's just, that's the design of the game, and you go in and you accept it, and I love it for that. That's why I love this game. This game that I played was literally, we had the worst. I mean, talk about drawing all the wrong monsters. We drew every monster out of the bag. Like one of the monsters you draw out of the bag doesn't do anything other than every turn you roll a dice, and on a 4, 5, or 6, everyone in Arkham loses a point of stamina, which means their health is just going down 1 point. And to go kill this monster, you have to have somebody that's super good at killing monsters. Or you got to try and close the gate that he's at, so that way when the gate closes, he'll get sucked through the gate and head back. But of course, the gate that we drew that he came through was amazingly hard. And the 2 characters that we sent to go close the gate, both of them got lost in time and space, which means we didn't close the gate. And after two turns, he had 7 Doom on the Doom track. After 2 turns, he had 7. At the end of every turn, you put 1 Doom on the Doom track. Unless, of course, you draw an event or something. Every time a gate opens in Arkham, you add a Doom to the Doom track. Of the first turn, we drew 3 random encounters that said a gate and a monster appear, which added Doom to the Doom track, which added another monster. And the monsters we drew out were we had, I don't know if you know Arkham Horror 2nd Edition, we had Gugs, not 1. We had 2 Gugs on the same space. It was so bad. That's how bad it was. So, if you are an Arkham Horror aficionado, you know exactly when I say how difficult our setup was. It was, and so we didn't put out part 2 because at that point, I talked to Phoenix Knight and he said, "Dude, throw in the towel. You have no chance." Ithaca, you're right. Ithaca sticks in my head as the boss that we were going up against. Ithaca, I think Phoenix Wright is right. We had characters that got knocked out. We had characters that were 2 characters lost in time and space. We had 2 characters that were knocked out. We had monsters we couldn't defeat because if you get knocked out or lost in time and space, then you basically lose a turn. And you also lose items and, things that are going to help you go defeat all these enemies. I had 1 character that had, she had like a rifle, a shotgun, and a knife or something. And she was like the only character that could actually do anything. But there's only 1 of her, and there's monsters and everything spawning all over the board. And every other character is drawing a gate and a monster appears. It's like, are you kidding? Anyways, still a great game. It was just, if you're looking for part 2, you're never going to find it. It was packed up in the box, never to be. I don't know what I'm going to do with this new edition I just bought. It was very cursed. It was not a very nice one. Then we played another huge mama master game called Buckeyegamefest. This is one of these, it comes with a solo mode in the box, but because I had never played this before, hence it's in red, I decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to play 2-handed. This way I can operate player A, I can operate player B, and I basically play the game twice so I can learn how to do everything. It's one of these masterful Euro games where you're doing these little things to do this, which moves this up on a track, which flips this over, and it uncovers this spot, so it's going to be worth 2 victory points at the end of the game. It's one of those games, and the only problem, again, is it's one of those things, if you're running your own guy, and you're just letting the AI run by its own self, that's one thing. But I was playing 2-handed, and so I was playing one faction, and I was trying to figure out quickly, because I'm doing it live, quickly, like, what should he try to do? He should probably try to get this, and then I would try to, do that action and everything, and then I would look at the next player and I would say, okay, what would this player like to do? Okay, he needs some of these spirits. Can he get some of these spirits? And I'm doing this action over and over and back and forth through the round until the round's over, and then you're moving up different tracks and doing several things. So after like 2 hours, I realized, wow, I'm only halfway through this game. And again, not the game's fault. My fault for never playing, and I'm trying to analyze, and I'm running several characters. So if I had to do it over again, and I already talked about this in the video, if I had to do it over again, which I might play Paducah again, hopefully in the next month or something, since the game is still fresh in my mind, I would play it with the AI solo system and then just focus on my faction, because the AI, I don't have to make any decisions. I just run their solo, they do their thing, boom, I'm done, and then I can just focus on what I'm doing, which I think is probably going to be hopefully a better idea. The only problem is the Paducah AI is not just a simple little solo thing. There is a 6-page document in the rule book that you have to learn and understand. So this is why I chose not to do it the first time, was because it's a very involved, detailed AI system, which is great. It's just that learning curve process that you're going to have to learn how to play it is going to take a while. So hopefully, maybe I'm going to get Paducah back on. I think it's a really good medium heavy Euro game. Great artwork. Very, very good game system. And I think I love medium and heavy Euro games, so that's not a problem. It's just a matter of committing to a longer game. So, which I think it'll be fine to do. Then we play Status Pro Advanced, which is different than Status Pro Baseball. It's a Status Pro Advanced, which, if you play your baseball sims, I would highly recommend you try out the Status Pro Advanced. A great game, great system that nobody plays other than me and maybe one other guy on the internet for some reason. Occasionally everyone else will pull out a game like once every 5 years, but I've got probably 50 different games on the channel, and I'm sure there's other people out there occasionally playing it, but it's not like a Stratomatic or Advanced. I could literally go to YouTube right now and type in app of baseball, and there would probably be 3 or 4 games that were from today even out there from just the people that I know. So it's just not, for some reason, a mainstream game, and I think it should be, because it's got great better picture interface. It's got a great system. It's easy to play. You can use fast action cards or dice. Each of the pitchers are rated differently. A lot of great things. There's ballpark effects that will affect your cards. What else do you need from a baseball game? Imperium Classic Edition. We picked up and played the Celts versus the Romans, because it was said that these are the two factions in the book that should meet in a head-to-head clash. And we played through it. It's Imperium Classic, if you're familiar with that. If you're not, you should. It's a great civilization, abstract war, it's very abstract card game. That plays great solo. All the factions do play differently. There's 8 in the core box. There's 8 in the expansion box. And then there's 14 more in the new Imperium Horizons box, which is still in the shrink. So if you're looking to play different civilizations against one another and see what happens, this game is right up your alley. I'm telling you. You can play it in an hour and a half, depending on how fast you're playing. It's got a great AI solo system that plays really neat. quick. It does what it needs to do, and it's gonna mess you up, and you're gonna feel the pain. We ended up losing against the AI, which is good, which is fine. There's no problem with that. I'm not certainly an Imperium Classics master, but it was a good game. I love Imperium Classics. I resisted it for a long, long time, and now that I played it 3 or 4 times, I think it's one of these games. It's like Gaia Project. You need to play it every once in a while because it's so good. Then we played Deep Drive Baseball, the other redheaded stepchild in the baseball world that nobody ever plays. And probably because I poo-pooed the game for a long, long time. But that was with version 1. They're now up to version 3, and they fixed some of the problems that I didn't like in version 1 or version 2 of Deep Drive Baseball. It's only in PDF. You can't order printed seasons, so you're going to have to create your own cards. But it is, I think, in my opinion, getting back into it, it is a really good system that plays really fast because the out results are on the cards. So you're going to roll a D100 and 0 to 49 come off the batter card and 50 to 99 come off the pitcher card. And then if you get an out, you have a modifier die that's 1 to 10, and you're going to look at that number on either the pitcher or the batter card, and you're going to get your out results. And there is a couple other minor charts for errors and range that you might have to reference every once in a while when you get a defensive check. So there is errors and range checks that will occasionally pop in. One of the things that Deep Drive Baseball has changed, and I didn't like originally, was the fact that like their out and range chart was like a million. It was like 8 pages long. It's like, why do you have this super detailed, extensive range and error charts when you're playing a fast-paced, very simplistic sim? You're not playing a very detailed, orientated sim, and you're giving me a chart that's detailed and oriented, and I didn't like that at all. It didn't fit their game whatsoever. So now they have a 1-roll chart where it's 1 page. They've condensed everything down. There is 3 different charts you can use now. They have the big chart if you want to still use the big chart. They have a 1-page chart that has got your errors and your range outs on it. And then there's a single roll chart, which basically has all of that incorporated into 1 page, 1 chart. So it's 1 roll, you get it, boom, that's your outcome. On the other 1-page one, you might roll it. You might get a result that says go to the error chart, and then you don't have to roll it again and roll on the error chart. So there's a 1-page single roll, and then there's a 1-page dual roll, depending on what you roll on that. So there's 3 different charts. And then one of the other things I didn't like about the Deep Drive Baseball was the fact that anyone that was rated average, like, you know, if you're not a fast runner and you're not a slow runner, you're average. Well, if you were an average runner, you didn't get a rating, you didn't get a number, you didn't get a letter, you didn't get anything. You got a big fat blank on your spot on your card, which drove me insane. So they fixed that now. So if you're average, instead of having a blank spot, you actually have like a dash now. So yes, you still don't get a rating, you don't get any information, but at least I know that there's something there now. So that's a big improvement so far in version 3. And I've had a really good time with Deep Drive Baseball. So I would highly recommend you pick up a season. You can get them for like $10 to $15. They are PDFs, so you are going to have to print out the cards. But they do have a nice card dotted lines where you're going to be cutting the cards out. Very clearly and easily you can see the cut lines, which is super nice. And another thing that I've said I've liked about other companies, Deep Drive Baseball does this as well. If I want to print out the Philadelphia Phillies, the Phillies have their own file. So all I have to do is double click the file, hit print, and go. It's not just one huge document that I got to scroll through to try and find which pages the Phillies are on, and then go to print it and say I need pages 58-63. I hate that when companies do that. Inside Pitch, I'm looking at you. And a few other companies out there as well. I just cannot stand when the companies can't just put each team in their own little file. So good on Deep Drive Baseball. They have addressed a lot of the issues that I had with the game system originally. I still rated them a B not that long ago when I did my review show. I still think it's a okay, above average system. But now if I had to really go and now that I've played version 3, I think I would probably give them an A. I would give them an A, which I have been a poo-poo for Deep Drive Baseball since it came out. And so for them to come all the way back from a not being recommended all the way up to an A and being recommended is a big improvement in my eyes. So good on them. Aeon's End with Phoenix Knight. We played another scenario. Me and him are still undefeated. It was a close one, for sure. But we're still undefeated and we win. And it was, I got knocked out, to be honest. My character got knocked out. So, and his character, I think, was down to 1 hit points. And it was a matter of if we drew the enemy attack, then it was over, we lost. And if we drew his attack, we won, which we did. So thank God for that. So that's Aeon's End. Great game, great system in my top 10 games of all time. We're going to keep playing it because I enjoy the game really well. We seem to, both of us, have a good time playing it, so we'll keep playing it. Number 31, Payoff Pitch Baseball. I mean, what have I not said about Payoff Pitch? Best game system out there, the only S game, in my opinion, currently on the market. Highly recommend it. I know Phoenix Knight just got in and did a product unboxing of 4 new seasons of Payoff Pitch. Crazy. I know. But that's how addictive this game is. When you start playing it, it's... I know RJL always says that Inside Pitch for him is so much fun, is so much funner than all the other games out there, and that's why he loves it the most. And while I can't argue with how he feels about a game, what I can say is that's the way I feel about Payoff Pitch. It's just so interesting, so fun. It gives you such a great result. Great time playing it. It's very simple to understand, very simple to learn. You're rolling some dice. You're checking the results on the pitcher card, which will then alter what you're looking on the player's card. And it's just, in my opinion, the card quality, just the best cards in any sim out there. They have the best cards. And I just think you put the package together, it's just the only game out there that supplies everything that I need. Hey, Wise Guy, what's going on? Good to see you. Meandering Mike, Phoenix Knight, Christopher, good to see everyone. All right. That was number 31. 32, we played Tank Duel live with the designer, Mike Berticelli. And we played this as a refresher on the solo system that comes in Tank Duel, and he was teaching me how to play. We played a cooperative scenario that's coming out in Tank Pack number 2, which is on the P500 list, and so we got a chance to look at a scenario coming out. We got to play some of the tanks that are coming out. We chose different tanks, and we were going through the solo system and showing how the AI does their things with the solo system. So you guys at home, if you are interested in playing Tank Duel, but you don't have a group of 4, 6, 8 people and you want to try it by yourself, here's a refresher for you. Try it out. Then Combat Commander Europe. Me and Phoenix Knight played that the other night, and it was good time to teach Phoenix Knight Combat Commander, and I had a great time playing it and getting back into the system, and it's been a long time since I played it with somebody. Unfortunately, it was Phoenix Knight's first Hex Encounter war game, and it didn't really go over too great in his eyes at this point. But kind of introduced it to him as the system, so he can get a refresh on it, take a little break, try it again maybe in a few months, and see if anything. This is one of these games that's gonna, as Patrick Pence said, the first time he played Combat Commander, he didn't like it either. So, and that's pretty much, Patrick runs the Combat Commander ladder over on Board Game Geek. So, Combat Commander is his number one game of all time now. He even said that it wasn't his favorite game the first time he played it. It's going to take a couple games to understand what you're doing and how things go, and understand the different factions. He was playing the Russians, I was playing the Germans. And it's very frustrating as a player to only be able to ditch 3 cards as the Russians and then have your opponent ditching 5 cards as the Germans. You're like, that's not fair. You're ditching 5 cards and I'm only ditching 3 cards. So it's one of these games where everything isn't fair. You just have to do the best you can to make it fair. And that's just like war. War isn't about being fair. Like, Nobody except for the Japanese at Pearl Harbor say, hey, I'm coming to attack you next turn, and I'm going to attack you in this space right here, and these are the cards I'm going to use. And this is why Combat Commander, in my opinion, is one of the greatest games ever, is because there is no crying in Combat Commander. You know the old expression, there's no crying in baseball. There's no crying in Combat Commander. You just get what you get, and you just suffer. And if you don't like it, too bad. Toughen up. I know Art Wolf kind of poo-poos Combat Commander because of it's great, I got a hand of nothing. Well, that's war. Like, if you don't get your orders, you don't know what to do, you don't know where to go, you don't know who to shoot at, you can't play God. Like when you want to stand over a table and see all the counters and get to move them all the time and do anything you want, you get to play God. You don't get to play God in war. It's just not the way it happens. Anyways, Combat Commander Europe getting reprinted at GMT Games this year. Hopefully they'll get their ass in gear and get these expansions and everything redone. So, we're looking forward to picking that up. Then we played the Normandy 44. We actually played it twice. We played it over on Tony's channel, Tony's Board Life. So yes, we played face-to-face like 4 or 5 times this month. We played several times with Phoenix Knights. We played once with Mike Butterjelly. And then we played once with Tony's Board Life. And we played Normandy 44. We went through the first scenario, the first turn. And then at the end of the game, we realized we missed a couple rules, that we're doing them wrong. And so I redid turn 1 on my channel with just playing solo, both sides, just so I could figure out if I've got the original rules down correctly. The problem with Normandy 44 is it is one of these games, it's like, you can do this except for on Wednesday, and you can do this except for on a Tuesday, and you can do this unless there's an enemy within 3 spaces of you. It's like there's an exception to every single rule out there. There is special units that only do certain things. You can't activate these units on the very first turn. You can't do these things on the very first turn. You can't, if you want to use artillery with your headquarters, you can only move it 1 space. Like, you think that would be like, there'd be some kind of information on the counter or something. No, there's like 1 little sentence in the rule book. So, while I love Normandy 44, it is one of these games that you will not play right the first 5 or 6 times you play it. There's just so many things. There's so many rules. There's just pages and pages and pages of exceptions. You can do damage, and then you can force your opponent to retreat. But the thing that most people, we didn't realize it, is when you retreat, you have to retreat 2 hexes. You must retreat 2x's. There's some exceptions to that. Of course, there's some exceptions to that. And then there is a double retreat where it's a ×2, which means you double retreat, which means you have to retreat 4 spaces, not 2. Double retreat is 4 spaces. And there's some things that you may or may not be able to have to do when you're retreating, and where you can go and where you can't go, and you have to retreat 4 spaces, or let's say you have to retreat 2 spaces, but if you retreat the first space into a woods or a town hex or a bocage, then you have the opportunity of possibly stopping, but you have to see if all of your stipulations fall into play. Anyways, still a great game. It's just one of these games that's been like, oh my God. Like, to be an expert in that game is like, you have to be a genius, I think. It is. There's just so many rules, and me and Tony didn't want to spend all night looking up the rules. He read through the rules, I read through the rules, he missed things, I missed things. So anyways, I played it again on Wednesday night on my channel, solo, after rereading the rule book, seeing what we did wrong, and then I was remembering, this rule, okay, we did that wrong. So then when I played on my channel, Normandy 44, I'm hoping that if somebody watches it that knows all the rules, they'll be like, oh yeah, I think you did everything right, or oh, you missed this, or whatever. So hopefully we'll get to play that again sometime. And then, of course, we ended the season, or the month, playing season ticket baseball. We're starting a project with that. It's going to be the 2019 Major League Baseball playoffs. Just like historically happened, we played the Rockies against the Phillies in Game 1. And so every time we play season ticket, we're going to be playing the 2019 season. And once we get done with the playoffs, then we'll reevaluate season ticket and see, give like a review on it and let you guys know what I think. I still think there's a lot of good things about season ticket, but man, oh man, every time that 5 comes up on a 6-sided dice, I start shaking. It's such a pain in the ass, and they really, 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 really need to analyze and put the defensive data on their ballpark cards so you don't need to look it up every time. It just drives me crazy every time a 5 comes up. So every time you're rolling a 5, you're looking up a defensive or a range play on somebody's card, and it's a joke. It's a real pain in the ass to do. The rest of the game flows really good, besides that. So you can see once we analyze our May 2024, we've got 11 new games played, which brings our total in 2024 up to 38. So I was shooting, just ballpark, hoping to get another 100 games in this year. Just like last year, we did 132 new games, but we were focusing in on doing new games. We weren't focusing this year on getting new games. Okay, that's not what our goal is. Our goal is to get more organized this year and get more games in. But after looking at like the last couple months, I'm like, we're almost to the halfway point of the year, right? We're almost to the halfway point. The end of June will be the halfway point. And if I'm around 50, that's gonna be like 100 games. Like, it's not like I'm going to take a couple months off. I'm not going to take like July and August off or whatever. So I mean, as long as I do 6, 8, 10 new games a month, I mean, before you know it, that's going to be another 50 to 60 games. So we should be around somewhere. I mean, whether we get to 100 or not I'm not gonna try to push to get it done, but I want to try to get another good 100, so that way we can say that we did back-to-back years with at least 100 games. If we miss it by a couple, if we only do 90, that's still a lot of new games. We're at 38, and we got another month, and let's just say we average 8 more games. So 8 plus 38 is going to be 46 games. So at the halfway point, we're going to be at 46. If we do that again, then it's going to be 92 games. So, I mean, we're not even trying to do 100, and we'll probably end up getting 100. Now, with that said, you will notice there's a huge block up there at the Buckeyegamefest. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in May from that, and there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 1, 2, 3, 3 more in April. So we had 9 new games played in that week I was gone for Buckeyegamefest. So that definitely helped get us back on track. But with that said, in March we had 3. In February we had 3. So we didn't do good in February or March. We only had 3 and 3. So, not very good results. And then in April we had 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We had 11 in April. And then we had 11 more in May. So we're averaging like 7, 8 a month. And if we do that for over 12 months, it's going to be around 90 to 95 games. I'll try to push a little bit to get to 100, and then we'll be around 100. So just, again, we're not mandatory making it a goal, but we're going to just try to push to 100 this year again, because I think having 100 more new games to analyze for our top 100 games of all time will be a good thing to do. All right, so we have logged 46 new games plays. This is game sessions. You can see there are multiples. Raising Robots is times 2. Role-Playing Adventures is times 4. Wingspan is times 2. Normandy 44 is at times 2. There is Payoff Pitch on the list several times. There is a bunch of these games. So when you look at it, it's like we did not play 46 different games. We played a total of 46, what I'm calling game sessions. So we played 35 different games. No, we played around 32 different games because, again, Payoff Pitch is on the list a couple times. And I think Epic Golf is on the list a couple times. So technically we played 32 games, and we played those a total of 46 times, which means we now have 46, which is interesting. That's a really cool, interesting number, and it's weird that it works out that way, because if I go and I look at my Board Game Geek information, I think it's going to be interesting to show you. 46 is a really interesting number because, boom, there we go. Let's slide it over here. That's fine. January we played 46. February we played 46. March we only played 20. April we played 31, and then May we played 46 again. So of the 5 months, we've played 46 different games 3 different times. I thought that was kind of an interesting 46. Like, couldn't you get one more and get 47? But I guess not. Anyways, it's going to give us a total of 198 games logged so far in 2024. Again, we're doing a better job of analyzing data-wise what we're doing, how we're doing it, so that way when we do our top 100 games of all time for 2025 edition, which will come in February of 2025, it's going to be like 6-7 months from now. We'll be doing that again already. We just finished it. Seems like we just finished it just a couple weeks ago. I'm telling you, it is so funny. Like, I'm going to show you guys my list from January of this year. Like, again, I talked about this last time, like last month. When you play this many games, like, you completely forget about all the stuff that you have done. Like, the first game we played this year is Apiary. I'm like, I don't even, I mean, I remember playing it, but I remember I really like the game, and I think it's great, and it's fun, it's interesting, but it seems like I mean, if you were to ask me how long ago did you play Apiary, I'd be like, man, it's been like 2 or 3 years. It's just, these games seem like they're so far ago. Origin Last Builder, it just seems so long ago. Distilled, I remember playing Distilled, but it's like, holy Moses, man alive, what the hell? When you play this many games this many times, you just, I guess it just goes to show you lose track of all the stuff that you've been doing. And it's amazing. I cannot get over about how many games that I've played. We played Alter Quest in March, April, May. So that was 2 months ago. And it feels like it's like a year ago already. I just can't believe how long this stuff. It's just amazing how quick time goes and how much you forget. Things coming up on the channel. Things coming up on the channel. See what I got here? I got a problem. That's what I have. This is our Kickstarter. Our Kickstarter has arrived that we pre-ordered in November of 2019. And yes, for those of you who have been around my channel for a while, you know I am ready to go to bear on this game. The process they used to create this game, the lack of desire that I have to play this game, the lack of respect the company shows to their customers, and the total disregard to from was a Kickstarter, and the process the Kickstarter uses to give people to create their visions of games. There's going to be a lengthy discussion about this game, the process used to create this game, the incredibly bad outcome of this game, and the total disregard for people's and why I don't back games on Kickstarter anymore, because it's just left such a terrible taste in my mouth for this game system and everything. I literally paid for this game in December of 2019, sorry. I literally paid for this game in 2019, because back then, when you did Kickstarter, they charged you right then when they were done. When the Kickstarter was finished, they pulled the trigger and they charged your credit card. So this game has been sitting there for 4 years, waiting for it to show up. And to be honest, I mean, back in the day, it looked okay and it looked interesting, but again, there's a whole process that really going through the years with this company. They went to Origins the last 2 years with posters and minis and everything to sell more copies of their game but yet they hadn't even produced the game yet. It's just a joke. It's just an incredible joke. But I guess that's what you get when you get the money up front, and why the system is broken. If they don't get paid until we get our stuff, it's a completely different. And the system is broken. Like, if I was to charge everyone for a game that I'm creating, if I'm going to charge everyone, let's say I'm going to charge you $160 for a hockey game that I'm creating, like, and I'm gonna get that money up front, I have no desire to hurry up and rush the game out. I got zero desire to. I got their money. I don't care. I mean, I try to do it because, I want to get my game out there and I want to get it published. But once I get your money, it's just, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I do it. That's why all these Kickstarters fail. This is exactly why Kickstarters fail. It's because you're giving the money to the people first. The system is broken. It doesn't work. The system was originally designed for struggling artists. Like if I'm a struggling dude, I will have this grand vision to make a hockey game for you guys, but I don't have the money to fund it. Like if I could find somebody to fund it, then maybe I can create my little game that I could sell like 500 copies and make something for people out there to play. That's what Kickstarter was originally designed for. It wasn't designed for Awakened Realms, which is a major game publisher. It was not designed for these huge companies, Chip Theory Games, Awakened Realms. It wasn't designed for these huge companies to get funding for the games so that they can make a game that costs $800 to $1,000 because they've got 7,000 miniatures in it and 24,000 counters. Are you kidding me? That's not what it was designed for. And people still sucker and they're, oh yeah, well yeah, let's just sign up. I'm going to sign up. I'm going to do this. It is 100% broken system. And the problem is, and I've said this all along, people are idiots. People are idiots. I will say that till the day I die. People are all idiots. Like, nobody likes to hear me calling people idiots, but everyone out there is a fucking idiot. And I'll tell you why you're an idiot, is because you let these companies do this, and you keep supporting them, and they keep producing it. There's a simple way to fix the problem, is you stop pre-ordering the crap, and you say, no, this isn't acceptable. And eventually what will end up happening is they will. People will finally draw a line in the sand, and they will stop funding these things when they keep getting screwed like me. Eventually there'll be enough people that will do that. Hopefully, somewhere 5, 10, 15 years down the line. But people are idiots because I can sit here and scream from the top of the mountain. Like, this is me right here. I'm yelling and screaming. Like, this is Big Mouth Jester again. Blah, 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 blah. I can yell and scream all I want. And here's the problem. It's going to go in one ear and out the other. And people aren't going to listen to what I have to say because they're like, oh, well, what he says sounds right. But as soon as they turn off my channel and they start watching these game founds and the Kickstarter, all of a sudden it's like, oh, that looks really interesting. And they get you with the FOMO. Well, if you don't get this, this is a Kickstarter exclusive. We're going to give you this. We're going to give you a bag. I don't have a bag. Wait. This is a Kickstarter exclusive bag. If you do not kickstart this, you are never going to get this bag. Like, that was the original lie that they told everyone. Like, if I go right now and I look, there's like, I can get all the Kickstarter exclusives from all the different games that are out there now. Like, if you go to order things, you can order the Kickstarter exclusive stuff. It's not Kickstarter exclusive anymore. That's the lie that they tell people because they get the FOMO. Like, oh, if I don't order this, I won't get the extra 3 cards that come in the game. And that's a whole nother discussion that we'll go down some other time. But anyways, the system is broken, especially when you got a crappy company who doesn't even have a game. Like, this is the reason this game took from 2019 to 2024 to create, print, and ship isn't because of COVID. They want to make you think it's because of COVID. But it's not because of COVID, my friends. It's because they didn't have a game. They created a game. Nobody liked the game, so they redesigned the game. And after redesigning the game a second time, they have finally decided to ship the game, even though it's not the game that they originally said that it was going to be the game, and nobody's happy with the outcome of what they changed. So, that's the problem with Kickstarter, is literally, I can promise you a hockey game. I'm going to charge you up front. I'm going to get the money up front. I can deliver it whenever I want. There's nothing you can do about it. And I may or may not give you the game that I promised to begin with, because I may or may not change it to however I want to change it to. And even though I tell you the game will be done in 2020, and then I promise you it's going to be done in 2021, and then I swear to you it's going to be done in 2022, and then I can guarantee you that it's going to be done in 2023, I can deliver it in 2024, and there's nothing you can do about it. Not a goddamn thing you can do about it. I can sit here and yell and scream and bitch about it. The problem is, nobody's going to listen, because you're all going to do what the fuck you want to do. And the reason that is because you're all stupid in the head and you don't listen to what I have to say. That's it. That's as simple as it is. If y'all were smart, you'd use your brain and you'd fix half the problems in the world. But you don't. You don't do it because you don't use your brain. And the reason these companies get away with this crap is because you let them get away with it. I could have fixed so many problems in the world if y'all would just listen to me. You don't. You choose not to. You keep buying the same crap over and over again. And then you go, gosh darn it, I wish I wouldn't have done that. Yeah, well, you should have listened to Jester then. All right. Well, anyways, that's the monthly recap. We're going to have a lengthy discussion about this game, Kickstarter, and the problem with it in that video. Probably going to be an hour, maybe two, where I just sit down and rehash what we just talked about. I was just giving you the basics. There's a lot. I mean, I'm going to show you screenshots of them guaranteeing and promising the game was going to be done in 2021 and 2022, and how the excuses, it's all about excuses. You have to have a front man that knows how to give you excuses. Like, if I was to run a Kickstarter campaign, I can get on and I can post something every single day on my Kickstarter. I can post you and I can tell you what's going on every single day. But you notice that what ends up happening on almost every one of these Kickstarters is in the beginning they post once a month, once every month or so. And then eventually there's 2 or 3 months go by, and then they go, oh, sorry, it's been a while since we posted because we've been so busy on this, right? And then you get the arbitrary, oh, I'm so sorry, we've been so busy with this stuff, and I wanted to post, but the holidays came up, and we were gone, and this, that, and the other. And what it is all excuses. It's just, you have to have someone that can give excuses. I can show you a screenshot. And I'm going to show you in this video. I can show you a screenshot of the fact that this game here, they go and talk about the fact that all the minis were printed in 2022. If all the minis were printed in 2022, why is it May 2024 and I'm just getting my game now if all the minis were printed in 2022? Again, they're excuses. Why? There's no reason why it's been years on years to get this product to your customers, other than, number one, you already have their money, so what do you care? What do you care? You already have their money. You can deliver their product to them whenever you fucking feel like it. And what are they going to do about it? There's not a goddamn thing they can do. What's the Kickstarter we're chatting on? We are, Paul, we're talking about Dawn of Madness. This is a game I kickstarted in 2019. I will show you screenshots of my order in 2019. I was charged for this game and charged shipping in December of 2019. So it's almost been 5 years on this game. And all the excuses you get when you deal with Kickstarter. What I might want to do is just like randomly sign up for a random Kickstarter and see and look at all the posts, because like every single post is the same. Oh, we're sorry. We did. Sorry for the silence. It's been so long. We are sorry about not getting with you guys. We've been so busy with things. Oh, we can almost got good news and we got bad news for you guys. Shipping's been delayed again. I mean, if I just had $10 for every time I heard that excuse, like, I'd be a millionaire. Like, it's the only business where you actually pay for something before you get it. And it's a broken system, and I'll get into it in my video later. So I guess we'll talk about that. I don't know if I'm going to do that tonight or if I'm going to just relax tonight and do something different. I don't know what I'm going to do. Anyways, it was a good month. We got a lot of stuff done. We got a lot of games played, as you can see. It was very productive. Oop, that's not it. On the channel. We got to play with Tony. We got to play with Phoenix. We got to play with Mike. So we had a lot of great face-to-face interaction. Oh, and I also played with Scott from the Game Caddy. So I got like 5 or 6 face-to-face games in not in January. I don't know why I have the January one up there. Let's look at the May. There we go. I think got like 5 or 6 face-to-face games in. We got quite a few war games in this month. I think I'm finally over the hump. I've been really down in war games for a long time, to be honest. But going up there and playing a couple with my buddies kind of re-inspired me, remembering the good old days, remembering the fun I had with them. And we actually played Interceptor Ace this month. We played... what else did we play? Oh, Command & Colors Medieval. We played Normandy 44 a couple times. We played Tank Duel. And we played Combat Commander. So, yeah, that's 6 or 7 games of war games, which normally, it's been like maybe 1 a month, maybe 2 a month. So, getting back in the swing, remembering how we used to play, hanging out, and just shooting the stuff with my buddies, and maybe it's gotten me back in the swing and enjoying them again. I was having a great time playing Normandy, except for all the exception rules and everything else. But anyways, great month on the channel, and at the end of next month, it'll be halfway through the year. So, did you have Crossing the Line on the table? No, I did not have Crossing the Line on the table. I don't know what Crossing the Line is. That was not me. You popped right in the middle of the rant. Yes. There'll be a special video coming just for that, Nordic. You'll be able to come back and enjoy that. I think I'm not even going to open that box. I have got zero desire for that game. I'm over it. I'm over the whole process. Unless it's somebody that I know and trust, I am not ordering from Kickstarter ever again. Kickstarter is just an interface. That's all it is. And the rules that they give the people are ridiculous. And all they're doing is taking a cut for it just so they can give people money. And the companies that abuse this system, and the fact that Kickstarter lets companies, like Kickstarter should have said, if you make X amount of dollars, you can't kickstart it. You have to earn like $500,000 or less, or $200,000 or less to be able to use Kickstarter. It was designed for small companies that can't afford to front this stuff. But you got companies like Awaken Realms. You got companies like Chip Theory. What the hell is their name? And they just abuse the system, and it's a joke. It's a complete joke, and I mean, I can yell and scream about it, but nobody's going to care. So, resist the new and shiny, wise guy. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Every one of these games that kickstarts, like, I can almost guarantee that 90 to 95% of them, if you know it's a joke. Like, it's a joke when you look at the funding thing and they go, we're going to fund this game if we get $20,000. And then it ended up selling like 1.5 million or whatever. It's crazy. Like, if I was to just show you an example, like, if we, to get down to the nitty gritty here, let's see here. Not Facebook, Kickstarter. So here it is, Dawn of Madness. Dawn of Madness. Yeah, go the fuck away. You can see I've already put my down face in on this one. So they raised if you look at this number, it's $1.2 million. 8,348 people backed this project for $1.2 million. Like, and here's the thing, like, if you look at these projects now, like, if we just go to Kickstarter, it's going to be like, oh, back this project, and it's going to be like some, like, ridiculously small number. And it's going to be like, oh, we funded this at 27,000%. Oh, here's one right here. Here's a perfect example. DVG, another crap company that abuses this system. Mustang Leader. Look at that. They only needed 20,000 to meet their goals. Right? If you meet your goals, it's 20,000, and then we're gonna print this game. And oh, look, we've got funding. Are you kidding me? You're trying to tell us that it only would have cost you 20,000 to complete this project, and now they can claim, oh, we got funded and we're at 170% or whatever. Let's see if there's a big image here that tells us about how this is. Oh, look at this, funded. Look at that. We got funded. Oh, we got funded at 25,000. Oh, 30,000, 35,000, 40,000, 45. How did they have all these things down there when they only needed 20,000? They only needed 20,000 for this. They only needed, once we get 20,000, why would they have 50, 60,000 goals then if they only need 20,000? Why? Why have they done that? Because the 20,000 is a joke. It's not even a real number. It's just an imaginary number that DVG has put out there to make their people that are backing this feel like they're getting something for what they've done. DVG does not need to be doing this. But they are abusing the system, and you might as well keep abusing it as long as there's idiots out there that keep supporting you. Right now there's 245 idiots out there. Congratulations, idiots. Way to go. Way to go. Way to fund a game from a company that doesn't need the GameFound funding. I have posted and I think I will share this with you guys as well. I have shared this because I came across this today. This is from a YouTuber out there who also just received his Dawn of Madness. And let's go watch and see what he has to say about it. I don't want that. There we go.
The Game Brigade.
So it's like about 8:40 when he brings it on the table. Let's see what he has to say.
Just showed up. Still in the shipping box. It's been in the shipping box for 2 weeks now, sitting right next to my table. And that's Dawn of Madness. This is Wave 1. And I haven't cracked the seal on it, mostly because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it. This was, in fact, my most outstanding Kickstarter game to date. This was pledged in in November 2019, during Black Friday of 2019. It has now finally arrived, Wave 1. We still have Wave 2 to show up. And so that just kind of puts you in a pickle, because you're like, okay, I don't really have the room on my shelves at the moment, unfortunately, for another massive box of games. And it's not even complete because I don't have Wave 2. Now, there are ideas behind what's probably the best thing to do is probably, open it up, verify the contents, make sure everything's there, and then figure out what to do from there. But there is a part of me that likes the fact that it's still sealed up. It's easy to kind of store away for now until Wave 2 eventually does show up, if ever. And at that point, I can make a decision if I'm even going to keep this game or just sell the whole thing. That's the other problem, is like I'm kind of like not really that interested in keeping this right now. But because I don't have Wave 2, I'm just not sure what I want to do with it, if anything. So that's kind of another kind of hold off. But again, this has been, backing for 4 years almost, waiting for this thing to show up. So it finally does hit the table, or hit the door, And now you're like, man, what do I do with this game? It's so much different from what I originally pledged, and what my interests are, and my game group has completely changed in those 4 years as well. So those are the newest games that have entered the collection.
So you see, it's just not me that's talking about this game and saying, "Hey, what the hell is going on with this game?" And it's not me that's. It's not just me that's complaining about this. It's hopefully other people, and hopefully other people watch what he had to say and say, "Oh, well, this doesn't seem right." Yeah. So, anyways, yes, Noir is 2.5 million. Delivery date 2022. Yeah, where's that game at? I mean, we're going to talk about it, we're going to show, and I didn't want to spend all this time in my review show talking about it, but I think it's important to talk about because it's a lot of people will watch that video, so I wanted to at least kind of go through it right now with my review for the month. It was a great month, all in all. A lot of great games played, so many good games, so many good times, a lot of face-to-face with Phoenix Knight, Mike Butterjelly, Scott from the Game Caddy, from Tony's Board Life. A lot of great face-to-face games, and then also Buckeyegamefest, where I actually sat down and played with the Player's Aid, played with the Herman, and played a lot of games, new games, and had a great time. So, anyways, we should all wake up. Yeah, I mean, I kind of, I'm kind of over being the Ellie Screamy guy on the internet because I've been doing it for years. And unfortunately, I learned the hard way that nobody's going to listen. Everyone's going to do what they want to do. Like, I would be lucky to sway. Like, if there's 1,000 people that watch my video, there might be 2 people that I would go, "Oh, yeah, your gesture's right. I should probably not order that anymore and not support that company. You're right. I'm going to not do that." So 2 people is going to make that big a difference. Like, it's unfortunately, and all it does is get me all aggravated and worked up, and it's just, I mean, it's It's just not worth it anymore because nobody listens. And it just gets to be frustrating. I tell people the same thing over and over and over again. I tell people the same thing over and over and over again. And, oh yeah, I should check out that. I will check that out, actually. We have if you would have been on the channel, you would have been part of my hockey challenge. Where is it? I will find it. I started a hockey challenge for the playoffs. And I have a link. I have a link on my desktop. The problem is I had to move my stuff from around on my desktop. Thank you for trying. You and Nate from Gimpy have influenced my Kickstarter behavior. Oh, well, I would like to take credit where credit's due, but I mean, you changed it. All we did was influence your decision, so it's good for you. Where is my? Why can't I find my? I had to move some stuff around on my desktop. Well, here it is, right there. Oh, of course. Right in front of your face. All right, so here is the 2024 Hockey Stanley Cup Bracket Challenge. We're going to go to Bracket ID Jester. ID Jesters? Oh, maybe it's League. Maybe it's League. I have to look at the league. There we go. There's ID Jesters League. There's 12 of us in this. Only 12. I know. It's only 12. But Koi is winning. Are you kidding me? If Koi wins this, I'm going to be so mad. Koi's winning. Tokenkopf is in second place. Nordic is in third place. Gav 825 is in fourth place. And Jester's in fifth. So I'm already beating several people. That's good. Good to see. And I got a maximum possible of 283. Koi's got a maximum of 376. I don't know if anyone's going to beat Koi. Right now he's up. He's up a little bit. All right. I still have Dallas. Is Dallas still in it? I think they're still in it. Aren't they still in it? Let's see. Let's see where we're at. They're tied 2-2. And then you have Florida and the Rangers. Florida's winning the series 3-2. Oof. So it's going to come down to best of 3 for Dallas and Edmonton. If I can get Dallas to win it, then I'm going to probably bypass a bunch of these losers in front of me. They're probably going to lose. Let's see who we had. He had Dallas. Oh, no. And the Rangers. That's why he's doing so good. Except for the Rangers. Oh, Rangers are, Florida's doing better than he had predicted, but that's still pretty good results there. He's got Dallas and Edmonton, Florida, and the Rangers. That's why he's in first place. That's pretty good picks. Pretty good pick. Good job. All right. There you go. That is our monthly review show. We got everything covered. We got games. We got sports. We got a rant and rave about Kickstarter. We got a rant and rave about this crappy game. We got a new logo. And we got a list of 46 games that we played this month. So, everyone, have a great month. We'll see you at the end of June. That'll be the halfway point of the year. And I'm going to do a special next end of month. It's going to be the 20 best games that I played in the first half of the year. So we're gonna talk about the 20 games that I think you should play. Best of the 20 games that I played in the first half of the year, and that's a lot of games that we played so far. So thanks for joining me, everybody. Have a great day, and we'll see you all next time. Until then, my friends, take care of yourselves. We'll see you all down the line. Bye for now.